Are you tired of constantly listening to your husband complaining? It can feel very overwhelming and exhausting and even annoying to be around someone who is often negative. This can drain you, it can ruin your day, and I'm sure it's not what you dreamed of when you were thinking about your happily ever after. But don't worry, there are ways to handle this situation effectively, and I'm going to share some tips with you today. Hi everyone, Nicole here, relationship coach, and the reason I do these videos is because I want to help you realize that you have so much more power over your relationship or your dating life than you currently think. Now, I really wanted to talk about this today because this is actually something I was chatting about with a client recently, where she was sharing with me that her husband had been, complaining a lot lately. He would come home and always have something negative to say, or he would be in a bad mood and he would just complain about something and it would totally get her down. Now, they were at the stage where just everything was turning into an argument. So the complaints that were coming in were just not helping the situation as a whole. And maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you're in a situation where it seems like your partner is very negative all the time, and it just leads to more arguments and frustration on your part and also on his part. And I can totally relate to this myself, because when my husband and I went through our phase where we were struggling, complaining was something that was definitely part of our experience, whether it was on my partner's side or even on my side sometimes. But like I said, there are definitely things that you can do to improve the situation, help diffuse negativity, and ensuring it doesn't turn into a full-blown argument. So let's talk about 3 things you can start doing today in your own relationship. Now, the first one's going to be obvious, and I would say it's probably even the hardest, or one of the hardest things to do, is number 1, just listen and empathize. A lot of times when someone complains, they're just really looking to be heard and validated for how they're feeling, and that is no different when it comes to your partner. Now, I say this can be difficult because if there's a lot of kind of baggage in the relationship, a lot of built up resentment, it can be very hard to just listen and empathize. But trust me, doing this, working up the strength and the emotional intelligence and the mastery to do this is going to be a game changer when you're around a very negative or complainy spouse. And the thing is, empathizing with him is going to make him feel like you understand, even if you don't necessarily agree. At least he's going to feel like you're on the same team as him. So whenever he complains about something, you're going to want to avoid feeling defensive or kind of taking on if he's complaining about something someone else did or something that, happened with another person. You're going to want to avoid, siding with the other person. You want to show your partner that you're a team player. He's complaining. That really sucks, whatever happened, and that you get it and that you're on his side. Number 2, the second thing that you can start doing today when you find that your husband is being very negative or complaining about things is to help him snap out of it, but without telling him what to do. So a lot of times, especially high achieving, successful or ambitious women, and also mothers, we get in this mode that we are very much in our masculine energy and we want to help fix things for our partner. Now here we really have to remember that men like to problem solve, men like to fix things, and the more you can avoid trying to take on that role for him, which might just make him even more complaining and more negative, take a step back and really support him in doing that himself. What are ways that you can just listen and respond and get him to think of his own solutions? What can he do to improve the situation? Is there anything? And you know what? I would really encourage you not to drag this out. So if it seems like your partner kind of wants some help getting out of this situation or just wants to bounce ideas off of you, that's great. But otherwise, feel free to just kind of listen, empathize, be on his side, and then help him snap out of it. Talk about something else, really empathize. And then, hey, what about this? Hey, by the way, so-and-so called, or, I was thinking about this for supper. What do you think? Don't be afraid to kind of help him snap out of it. He probably doesn't want to belabor over the thing that's bothering him. And I'm sure he wants to get out of feeling those feelings of negativity himself, even though it may seem like he's bringing it on. He might just need to know that you get him, and that's it. And then whatever it was that was annoying him or making him complain, he gets to forget about it because now he's with you and he can have a great time and feel good about himself because of your strong relationship together. And the last thing you can start doing today is to really practice those internal boundaries and emotionally detaching from the situation. If you find you get really affected when your man complains or is in a negative mood or he's grumpy or whatnot, you're really going to want to work on your emotional self-regulation and staying in your power. So I've done a lot of videos on these topics. Go check out my playlist. I've talked about this. I love this topic. And this doesn't mean that you ignore him, but if you need some space to just kind of chill out and stay in your power, you're free to do that. And it also doesn't mean that you kind of just, put on a fake smile and you be all chipper. That could be annoying to him. And you know what? That's probably going to be annoying for you and feel fake also. But be kind, even if you can just stay neutral in the situation. Not adding fuel to the flame is going to benefit the both of you. And if you do feel like this is something that's been coming up a lot lately, there might be a deeper root cause there. And I definitely encourage you to investigate that. So maybe not in the moment, but once you're able to kind of snap out of it, really empathize, get in a better space for yourself and in terms of how he's feeling, then you can bring up the topic in a very productive and compassionate way and figure out what is it that's causing him to maybe complain about so many things or be negative without saying it that way, of course. There are so many instances with my husband where I noticed that he would complain about things, and then the more we talked about it and as I brought it up using effective communication skills, I always discovered that there's actually something deeper that's going on. It's actually something else. So I definitely encourage you to explore what might be going on. So at the end of the day, this really comes down to effective communication and your own emotional self-regulation. And the more you master your words and your own vibe, the stronger your relationship will be. Now, if you find yourself in this situation and you'd love some support, make sure to check out the link in the description below and book a call with me so we can figure out what's going on and get you a game plan going that you can start working on today. All right, so this is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will see you guys in the next video.